Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about some deep philosophical works, works that inspire. I've read a lot of books, and some of them have to say a lot about ethics, about morals, about the human condition. So I'm going to be giving you guys a few titles here that I do believe that everybody should read. That's great to just have a good read or just they help you understand the world a little bit better and understand people a little bit better, and it just help you grow. Before I go into all that though, please remember to give a like, subscribe, and or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. All right, so the first one I'm going to talk about here is No Exit by Jean-Paul Sartre. Really, one of my favorite plays. You get three people stuck in hell, and they talk about their lives. They go through their lives. There's no exit, uh, and this says a lot about just what it means to be human. Specifically, why do these people go to hell? What do they believe in? Um, you know, what does it mean that hell is other people? That's a question that gets raised within this work. What does that mean, basically? Um, I mean, you can understand the amount of suffering that human beings put each other through on Earth. We're talking about wars, we're talking about crimes against one another. I mean, humans, we kill each other. We take advantage of each other. At any given time, there could be all types of warfare and crimes and horrible things. I mean, humans have done just the most evil things to one another that you could ever imagine. So No Exit by Jean-Paul Sartre. I won't get into the deep of it. I already have a video talking about what's going on within this work on the channel, so you can definitely look at that. But again, it's one of the works one that I've read that once you've read it, it leaves a lasting impact on you, and it says a lot about the human condition, and um, you know, it really makes you think about life and reality itself. The next work that I would have to say that everybody should read. Um, is let me see here, The Ones Who Walk Away from Amelas. This is another one. So I've done a video on No Exit by Jean-Paul Sartre. I've done a video on The Ones Who Walk Away from Amelas. Both of them really great read. The Ones That Walk Away from Amelas, though, that's a tough one. In terms of what would you give to be happy? I mean, the ones Amelas is a place where everything is happy, everything is great, but there is one individual that is suffering. Again, you can look at the previous video I have on the channel. You can look it up yourself, but I have covered this in a video already, so I'm not going to be giving you guys another summary of this here to not make this video too long. But this is a deep philosophical work here. Looking at, I mean, if the world could be heaven, but one child would have to suffer for the world to be heaven, would you take that offer? I mean, everybody gets to live free, enjoy their lives. Let's say you would get a perfect romantic partner, you would have all the money you would want, every day would be sunny, beautiful, and nice. And we would all be happy, but all that would take would be for one child to suffer for all of eternity. That's not exactly what happens within The Ones Who Walk Away from Amelas, but it's the idea that appears within this work. Amelas is just one place where everybody's having a great time, but the ones who walk away from Amelas are the people who get to see this child, and it's just too much to think that your happiness is literally based off of this child suffering. And Could you enjoy your life and go about your lust, your sex, your good times, when you know it's this child that's paying for it? So again, some deep thinking here. Some people would. Some people, I mean, certain billionaires, certain millionaires, some people around the world. I mean, some people are murderers. They will kill for money. They will slaughter people for money. That's it. And whoever it is, a child or a grown human being, it really doesn't matter. Some people would have the best time of their lives and not bat an eye, if that's what it takes for them to live a good life. Other people just wouldn't do it. So again, something that, I do believe you should read. Everybody should read. It just says a lot about the human condition and just life in general. All right, the next selection. Let's see here. Mm, all right, so let's go with A Modest Proposal. Um, by Jonathan Swift. I mean, A Modest Proposal by Jonathan Swift. Whew. Um, Jonathan Swift, he talks about eating babies. He talks about the rich here. He talks about the plight, about the poor versus the rich. Again, I have a video, going into detail about what this means and what's within this work. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I wrote my thesis statement in college, on this. Well, at least part of it. Um, a modest proposal. A modest proposal. It's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It's one of the best pieces of writing. I mean, the Bible for me is number one. I mean, again, nothing can beat the Bible. It's a living text. But this is number two in my book. This right here is number two. Jonathan Swift is talking about eating babies here. He's like, we should boil them, saute them. I mean, it's a satire. He makes it funny. I love jokes. I love to laugh. Um, he's not really saying let's eat some babies, but it's just the way he talks about the rich and the poor and what's going on within this work. It's just, again, it's human ethics, the human condition at its peak. Jonathan Swift, man, he's just one of these writers that, I'm like, once you've read his work, it's like, who else can come close, after the Bible, he's one of the writers, especially this piece of work here, A Modest Proposal. After the Bible, for me, it's one of the greatest texts I've ever read. It's just delicious, man. It's just great writing. Human condition, ethics, morals. Whew. All right, let's go to my next selection here. Let's see here. All right, The Stranger by Albert Camus. This guy here, he just within this work, um, you know, Mersault just, he's a strange character. All right, um, he's a strange character. I mean, I don't know what to say about Mersault. Again, I have another video detailing, Mersault. I do believe that everybody should read this book. Looking at Mersault's, his treatment of his mother, his treatment of his girlfriend, his treatment of sex, his treatment of life, his indifference, his treatment of the universe, what the universe means to him. When we step in this type of deep thinking, we're talking about, um, nihilism. We're talking about absurdity. We're talking about, certain philosophical ideas, principles, ideals. The stranger here, you want to care, but you also don't want to care about it. Most humans, we want, for a man, because I understand things deeply through a man's perspective. As a man, I can say, you want to live your life, get a good life, make some money in this life, or some good money, enough to get a wife, have some kids, enjoy a few Christmases, play with your babies, build the next generation, go on some vacations, have a good time, be a good person, be loving. From my own perspective, love Christ, love God, love your neighbor, live a good life, go to heaven. At least from my perspective, as a man, as an individual, as a Christian, that's how I see life. Loving God, loving your neighbor, having a wife, having kids, and enjoying life, love, and all that, and all the beautiful things of this world. Mersault, he just seems this doesn't really interest him, and I don't understand Mersault. He's something that I see that I don't understand. Because for me, in life, the most beautiful things in life, it's God, it's women, or a wife, uh, children, enjoying food with a neighbor or family members. That's the meaning of life to me. God, neighbor, and having a good time, a good, reasonable time that's ethically, morally correct. And having a good laugh with a good friend, a good buddy, a good beer, a glass of wine, on a Saturday evening. That's a good life to me. That's how I define it. Mersault is just like whatever, man, whatever. Kill me, saute me, whatever. It doesn't matter. Again, great read. It definitely makes you think about life and what it's all about. Something I do recommend reading. All right, what's next? Tuesdays with Maury, man. This one, again, deep philosophical work here. I do recommend it. I think everybody should read it. Tuesdays with Maury. Um, uh, Tuesdays with Maury. It's something that will make you cry. It's a short book, not too long. Something that can make you cry. Something that can make you think about life. What's really important about life? Why do we live? Why do we have the things that we have? What does it mean to live with people around you? Again, this book, if it doesn't make you cry, it should make you spend some time alone, go into the woods or go to the beach and just have a good one-on-one session with yourself to think about life and what it's all about. It's these types of readings. I mean, I don't know how you read them without walking away in deep thinking and critical thinking about why are we here, why we exist, and things like that. So those are the five that I think everybody should read. The next, let me see. On my list here, the next things I would say is, let me see here. Um, hmm. I would suggest, I mean, those five, I would say, are the biggest ones for me. Other five that I would mention, reading that is significant, that I think that everybody would get something out of, is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. These are just like honorable mentions. Again, the individuals that show up within this work, it's a lot to think about. What happens to the individuals, and then there were none. It keeps you on your seat. It keeps you thinking. Again, it's a work that I've covered. So if you want to know more about it, definitely look at it. I would also say another deep philosophical work that is significant that everybody should read. I would say Roman Fever. Roman Fever. The author's name is not coming to me, but again, that's another work that I've covered on the channel. That's another video of mine. If you do Roman Fever, Stanley St. Rose, it should pop up on YouTube. That's another philosophical, well, not exactly a philosophical work, but it's a great piece of literature that keeps you on your toes, that makes you think about um, that makes you think about just individuals, human condition, definitely. After that, I would say, I mean, this is a long one, but again, War and Peace. I mean, War and Peace. I mean, everybody says we read War and Peace. Everybody should read War and Peace, but everybody should read War and Peace. It covers everything: love, hate, warfare, children, The Nuances of Love. I mean, I love a good short story, and War and Peace is a great one. Crime and Punishment, another big one. Now we're going towards the Russian writers here. Crime and Punishment, again, human ethics, human morals, really long work, but also, I mean, after I read Crime and Punishment, I had to think to myself a little bit. It took me back and made me think about a lot of things. But that's another one. But that's a very long work. Let's see here. Let me look at my list real quick. Let me see here. Harrison Bergeron. That's another good one. Again, I've covered it in the channel. Deep philosophical work. Um, you know, again, I've talked about it. That's another deep thinking human condition read that everybody should read. Um, Cathedral by Raymond Carver. That's on my list here. It's a masterpiece. I mean, Cathedral by Raymond Carver. Again, I have a video on this going into detail about this. But one of my favorite reads, one of my favorite short stories. It really goes into this blind guy, his perspective on the world, um, and just people getting to know people. There's much more to it. Again, I go into detail about this on the video when I go into detail about this. But again, it's a short story that makes you really takes you back, man. You gotta sit back and really think about it. Let's see what's next here. Bartleby, The Scrivener by Herman Melville. I mean, everybody knows. Well, back in my college days, everybody knows Bartleby, The Scrivener. At least the English majors did know a lot about Bartleby, The Scrivener. Yeah, you could probably find an audio recording of this on YouTube. It's a very old story. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those works that I do believe everybody should read. It's just so strange. It's just so strange in nature, and it just evokes a lot of questions that I think everybody need to think about. Um, and then the last one I'll talk about here is Sonny's Blues. Um, there's a lot that's going on here. I actually did a video on this not too long ago, so you could probably scroll down on the channel, the video tab, and you could probably find my thoughts about this. Um, it's these two brothers, their different perspectives in life and what it means to be alive. Well, you'll read my thoughts on this when you go to my video talking about this. But again, it's another not exactly philosophical work, but it's a short story that definitely makes you think about people, about life, and it does inspire you. It does take you out of your shell to think about things in a way that maybe you haven't thought about it. So again, these are 10, or I hope I counted exactly 10, but these are 10 works or suggestions that I do believe that everybody should read. They're very deep. They're very timeless. 50 years from now, I do think these short stories, plays, books will always like carry some type of philosophical, ethical, moral, human condition weight to them. They're just really good, man. They're just that good. All right, so that's pretty much what I wanted to do with this video. Someone, asked me for it, so I was like, let me put this together. I mean, there's over 1,000 videos on the channel. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I started to forget videos I've done. It's been 10 years of making videos. So there's a lot of things I've put on the channel that I forgot that I even read. I mean, again, I've been making videos since I was like 15, 16. So there's a lot of book summaries, short stories, and things like that. And I had to kind of like make a list of things that I've read to remember them because it's been a while. It's been a while. Some of these works, it's been a while since I read them. But there's a lot. I mean, all of these works have really shaped my mind and my thinking towards people, human condition, and just what it means to be alive, how to treat people, what's important in life, and what's inspiring. So yeah, definitely have a good read, and if you're of age, get a glass of wine, get a nice drink, and have a read on the balcony or something. And then after reading, just take a nice nap. This is just some good reading, some good stuff. Anyway, I think I've babbled enough. That's what I had to say about these works. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment so the channel can grow and whatnot. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.